Hey everyone, it's Rob Ryder on 1/15/2017, January 15th, 2017. The first sentence of the first section of the first statute of the first Congress signed into law June 1789 states that the oath or affirmation required by the 6th article of the Constitution of the United States shall be administered in the form following, to wit, IAB, do solemnly swear or affirm, as the case may be, that I will support the Constitution of the United States. I'll show you where that comes from, and that is what the first law written into the first Congress says. And so if somebody doesn't have this oath subscribed on a certificate, they haven't taken the proper oath, they have no authority whatsoever at any level because they're not within the sovereign structure of the federal government, federal state government, either way, because they all have to take it. And we'll show you where that comes from. But it talks about Article 6. So what did Article 6 say? Well, the Article 6 said two great things: that this Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land. And the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the constitutional laws of the state to the contrary notwithstanding. And so if this is the law, 1 Stat 23, then they don't have any choice. If they don't have that oath, they're not an officer under the Constitution of the United States. Therefore, they can't enforce the laws of the state or of the several states. The senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound, shall, by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution. But no religious test shall ever be required as qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Lots of shalls in there. And so shall means shall, brother. When it says shall, you need to do it. And whatever shall is what shall is. And shall says that the laws of the United States are the supreme law of the land. And this law says that this is the oath that satisfies the 6th article of the Constitution. The oath that's normally said is found in 5 U.S.C. 3331, oath of office, in which it says, an individual, except the president, elected or appointed to an office of honor or profit, right? So particular offices, an office of honor or an office of profit, in the civil service or uniformed services, shall take the following oath. Shall. IAB, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of which I am about to enter. So help me God. This section does not affect other oaths required by law. So no matter if you take 5, you still got to go take this one. In fact, you had to do this one first. What else? Now, if you listen to when the senators or the congressmen are supposed to be given the oath, they're not the ones saying this, right? You are supposed to, I, Robert Allen Rutluski, the person taking the oath, needs to say it, not say, do you solemnly swear or affirm, and have you say, I do. That isn't what the oath is. The man's supposed to stand up there and say, I state your name. And you say, I, Robert Allen Rutluski, or whatever your name is, do solemnly swear or affirm. You need to say those words, or it's not the proper oath. The point being, this oath isn't properly administered to the Congress. Hang on just a second. So this law, it would be good to find it this way maybe. It's called, because it has a name, right? It was an act. It's an act to regulate the time and manner of administering certain oaths. You can find it on Wikipedia. If you just put in enough of those words, you'll find it on Wikipedia. An act to regulate the time and manner of administering certain oaths. It's also known as 1 Stat 23, 1 STAT 23. Whatever you need to do to find it. But if you find it on Wikipedia, they have a link that'll take you to a copy that you can download, which, hey, that might be useful if you had a court case. Which is the idea with this video, is to say, hey, let's go take this oath, let's take this law and say, hey, if you don't have this oath, you don't have any power. Right? And I'm going to file a complaint that this is a violation of my civil liberties based on the fact that you don't have a properly executed oath, so you don't have an office. The Constitution says you have to have it. So it's a constitutional crisis if they haven't taken the proper oath. And for that reason, I filed a complaint with the Office of the Inspector General. But on Wikipedia, it says an act to regulate the time and manner of administering certain oaths was the first law passed by Congress assembled after the ratification of the U.S. Constitution. Well, hey, that'd be the first Congress. It was signed by President George Washington on June 1st, 1789, and parts of it remain in effect to this day. Yeah, all parts. The House of Representatives reached its first quorum on April 1st, 1789. 5 days later, it appointed a committee to draft a bill, blah, 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 blah. They had some words, IAB, a representative. And they took the words out, and, there you go. And so, like I said, and this will give you all sorts of good little information you might want to know about that act. But let's go look at what it was in conjunction with what I filed to the Office of the Inspector General. Why did you come on? I guess I hit that. Okay. And so, Inspector General action request from Robert Allen Rutluski. That'd be my full legal name. Staff Sergeant. 374-506794. I'm a status of a veteran. I'm using the IG office at the Michigan National Guard as my unit's address and my phone number. But I want it mailed to me, right? So I just as soon do it this way. Robert Allen Rutluski, since they say, what is your preferred mailing address? Well, this is my preferred mailing address. Robert Allen Rutluski, Surrey Juris, care of, all caps, Robert Allen Rutluski, 1095542 Railroad Northeast, Rockford, Michigan, 49341, zip code. Anyways, send a flash message to President-elect Trump and Joint Chiefs of Staff on the state of emergency caused by the failure of alleged members and members-elect of the 15th Congress to recite and subscribe the constitutionally mandated oath of office found in an act to regulate the time and manner of administering oaths signed into law June 1st, 1789. The 6th article of the Constitution. Now, this is information pertaining to this request. Background. Use additional sheets if necessary. I'm going to get it on one. The 6th article of the Constitution of the United States states the senators, the representatives aforementioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support the Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. The oath of office that specifically satisfies the 6th article is found in an act to regulate the time and manner of administering certain oaths. That'd be 1 Stat 23, wherein is stated that the oath or affirmation required by the 6th article of the Constitution of the United States shall be administered in the form following, to wit, I state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm, as the case may be, that I will support the Constitution of the United States. I concluded it as an attachment. This was not the oath of office publicly administered on 03 January 2017 to alleged members-elect of both houses, and no other oath of office is acceptable, leaving the 15th Congress vacated and unable to legislate. Documentary evidence of this constitutional crisis can be found by reviewing the 03 January 2017 Journal of the House or Congressional Record of the same day, within which is the official record, an online video record, of House and Senate representatives that day. Notice, this constitutional oath of office, 1-23, has to have been administered to and subscribed by the Chief Justice of the United States, because all executive and judicial officers of the United States have to have taken it, for this individual who, well, that would be the Chief Justice of the United States, to validly administer an oath of office to President-elect Trump. To simulate this authority would be a treason. To simulate this authority would be an act of treason. One more time for a trifecta. To simulate this authority would be an act of treason. It is my belief that members of the several states legislature and all executive and judicial officers, both the United States and of the several states, have not been administered nor subscribed this constitutionally mandated oath of office, leaving them impotent to execute the laws of the United States or adjudicate proceedings pertaining to them, unless they have a validating document, as prescribed by law, talks about a certificate, to enforce the laws of the United States. They are not officers of the United States and the several states. They are instead domestic terrorists, and I demand the United States military protect the inhabitants of the United States from their lawless acts. I'm dead serious. You either get a proper oath or you're a domestic terrorist. I demand that the military protect me from you. Laws of the United States. So this is what you would find when you find 1-23. It looks like this, the laws of the United States. And this is just a little 2-page act that if you were to get both pages from the library, I think you can talk the librarian into putting their seal on it, because it's a public record. Even if you did it from a computer and you print it out in the library, as I remember, they print out things behind the desk and tell them you want a seal on it. See if they do it. If not, no big deal, right? But I think you could, and I just think that adds so much weight to it. And I'm sure you could, though, from a legal library. But they'd have to put it on. So once they do, well, this is the law. It can't be disputed. It came out of the law library, or it came out of the public record of any kind. It says, here's the laws of the United States. Acts of the First Congress of the United States, passed at the first session, which was begun and held City of New York, Wednesday, March 4, 1789, and continued September 29, 1789. George Washington, President. John Adams, Vice President of the United States and President of the Senate. Frederick Augustus Muhlenberg, Speaker of the House of Representatives. Those 3 men made up the government. Apparently, they're not listing the House. In fact, they got the House of Representatives. They got it blocked off. It's like Representative 1. So, but be it enacted by the Senate, representative of the states of America, in Congress assembled, that the oath or affirmation required by the 6th article of the Constitution of the United States shall be administered in the form following, to wit. There you are. Okay, so I'm not going to read this thing. Go get a copy, and you'll see it says all these people have to have taken this oath. There is no way around it, right? To not have done this and try to enforce the law would make you simulating a legal process, and that's just a crime. It's a violation of your civil liberties. You're being denied due process. The guy who's trying to enforce the law doesn't have any authority. And he's taking you to a court that doesn't have any authority to adjudicate the matter because the executive and the judicial officers haven't taken the proper oath. And so shake your county up and tell them to produce the paper. You're going to file a complaint with the Inspector General. And just see what happens with it. Okay, one more time. Hang on a second here. Okay, I want to quickly finish up with my public record of who I've made aware of this fact, and it would include the Inspector General of the U.S. House of Representatives, in which I said, take judicial notice, congressional seats are vacated, and states are in rebellion. Inspector General, take judicial notice that I have filed a complaint with the Committee on House Administration by its email service, claiming my civil liberties and law of war have been violated by the corrupt practices of individuals under the committee's jurisdiction. If you go look at this place called the Committee on House Administration and look it up, they say that they're in charge. Just go read their jurisdiction. In support, Representative-elect and Senator-elect of the 115th Congress Congress were not administered the oath of office mandated by Article 6 of the Constitution of the United States, 1 Stat 23, provides the mandated wording of this oath, not 5 U.S.C. 3331. They may have to take it, but it's not the oath that satisfies Article 6. They got to take both of them. I include the image of a signed copy of said complaint as part of this facsimile. I sent this one by fax, as a matter of fact. I have brought the same to the attention of the Michigan National Guard Inspector General, as we've just seen. Please see to the remedy of the United States of America. Because I made the United States of America the complainant, and I was ex-Rel Robert Allen Radlewski, the relator for the United States of America. And the Committee on House Administration, yes, I did email this to them. Demand, so Google FOIA my email address, courtofrecord@AOL.com, Committee on House Administration, and you will see that I did send this to them. Demand for relief of violation of civil liberties and law of war. I, Robert Allen Radlewski, sui juris, claim my civil liberties have been violated, as is the law of war resulting from corrupt practices of individuals usurping the powers of Congress. These individuals have not sworn the oath of office mandated by the Article 6 Constitution of the United States, and I demand relief. You know, it gets to be redundant. It's just a couple of paragraphs, but I'm going to give it to everybody I can that's supposed to, have a duty to do something about it. The third paragraph of Article 6 states, and we know what it states, take judicial notice, the oath of office mandated by Article 6 of the Constitution of the United States was not administered in accordance with law on January 3rd, 2017 to any representative-elect or senator-elect. The constitutional oath of office without religious test was not administered nor subscribed in accordance with 2 U.S.C. 25. That's Title 2, United States Code 25. Now, if that isn't the correct citation, I don't care. You guys are smart enough to figure it out, Army. 2 U.S.C. 25. You got 10 U.S.C. 25. Well, this is 2. 2 comes before 10. You'll see what the Congress is supposed to do and just go audit their books. They don't do it. 2 U.S.C. 21 makes clear in its footnotes that the proper oath of office for senators and representatives is found in 1 Stat 23, a.k.a. R.S. Section 28. This is not the oath of office recorded in the Journal of the House or Congressional Record, and there is no evidence of subscription of any senator-elect or representative-elect. The wording of the oath of office found in 1 Stat 23, to wit, I.A.B., I, Robert Allen Radlewski, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States. That's what I'm supposed to say. Who's ever taken the oath needs to say those words and then sign the piece of paper. So let it be written, so let it be done. First, you had to speak it. This is not the oath of office that was administered and recorded on 3 January 2017. No, it was not. The corrupt practices of these individuals has caused a constitutional crisis, as all the states are currently in rebellion, having no properly seated representation. It just is that simple. It's a one-sentence problem. Fix it. Military, these conditions mandate that the military execute Chapter 15 of Title 10 United States Code. That would be for insurrection. Just go enforce the laws of the United States, please, and we could all be done with this. Just go into all the courts, grab all the people in black robes, and go put them in a FEMA camp. And figure it out later. But that'd be a place to start. If they don't have this proper oath, then put them in a FEMA camp. I think that's a good answer. They can all come out. I forgive everybody, but you're going to stop. Because I ain't stopping until you do. I just got more ass than you got teeth, brother. I'm afraid if you're a satanic sock puppet, you don't stand a fucking chance. We're just getting rolling. Okay, hang on a minute. Okay, so granted, right, it's hard to take in. dedicated your whole life to what you think is the government, trying to do the right thing, and questioning, why am I doing this crazy ass shit? Why are we doing this? Well, it's because the people in charge lie, cheat, and steal. And why is that? Well, because they're Talmudic Jews. And they passed this law. It's Public Law 102 of the 102nd Congress. This is 105 Stat 44. Right, we're at 1 Stat 23. That's a law. Well, then 105 Stat 44 must be a law. Hey, public law. 102-14, March 20, 1991. How many different names they got to give this damn thing? But what does it say? This joint resolution to designate March 26, 1991 as Education Day, USA. Whereas Congress recognizes the historical tradition of ethical values and principles, which are the basis of civilized society, and upon which our great nation was founded. Whereas these ethical values and principles have been the bedrock of society from the dawn of civilization, when they were known as the 7 Noahide laws. These fuckers have put the laws of man before the laws of God, and they're playing your ass for a fool. It's just time to stop. NCOs just got to go tell your officers, sign the paper, sir, and let's go get these fuckers today and get this done. All right, nobody needs to die. Just round them up. They're like sheep. Round them up and put them in a pen until, we get it figured out. But they drank way too much Kool-Aid, man. They believe the world is run by the 7 Noahide laws. That's Talmudic Jewish law, which means if you're a Christian and you believe that Christ is God, these people believe they can execute you by decapitation. Because that's a blasphemy against their religion, because they don't believe that Jesus was God. Amen. Lord Jesus, please help us. Please. Okay. That's my prayer for today. And I know it'll be answered. Okay. And so in my desire to point the finger at as many of these people as I can, I sent by email what I had shown that I had sent to the Office of the Inspector General. Well, I sent that to the Secretary of the Senate. And there was somebody else. Got the lobby of the Secretary of Senate and then one of her doers. And so sec.senate.gov is the Secretary of the Senate's office. Outstanding. That wasn't quite enough. Because what I actually sent to her was what I had sent to Pope Francis through 3 different emails of theirs. One to the Inspector General of Vatican City. That was a wonderful find. And this is the Congregation on the Doctrine of Faith. Wow, that would be that holy office, or that, that's where the confessor with the red hot poker comes from. Oh, my. Yeah. And, they may have some cardinal that sits in the court, but if you look at the organization of it, the sovereign pontiff is the presiding officer of the Congregation of the Doctrine of Faith. Right? Not Pope Francis, sovereign pontiff Francis, when he has his other hat on. So that's when he's over his country. Sovereign pontiff Francis first. The proper oath of office mandated by the Constitution of the United States and put into words in an act to regulate the time and manner of administering certain oaths that was signed into law on 1 June 1789 is not the oath of office that was improperly administered to both houses of the U.S. Congress. This is an international crisis that needs a voice, and I ask you supply it. Respectfully, Robert Allen Retluski. And then this is what I had sent. Basically, I sent the form and some video links where you can go watch. Well, here's the video I did before for myself, but just go listen to Biden or go Google Paul Ryan on January 3rd, 2017, and you can hear what they're saying, and they're not saying what oath needs to be taken. And then take judicial notice that the Committee on House Administration claims jurisdiction over House members. I didn't know this until last week. This is really historical for me, because historically, the committee has had a hand in shaping legislation that touches on any and all aspects of federal elections. Issues concerning corrupt practices, contested congressional elections, campaign finance disclosure, and credentials and qualifications of House members also fall under its purview. So they got a copy. I sent a copy to, who's this to? I think this is the Inspector General at D.C. Is that what it is? NG, NCR, Army, MBX, NGB, IG, Gmail, Mail, Mil. I believe that was to them. And then finally, because I did it by fax, I sent one to the Inspector General of the Department of the Defense. So, man, I've told a lot of supposed officers of the United States who are supposed to have taken the proper oath of office. But if we look just real quick at the forms that they would use, so this is the form that it's called an SF-61 form that appointment affidavits go on, which would have their names on it. And then, I pointed this out in 4 or 5 videos a year ago, right? Look at how they split. All these words here, up to I with the space, all of those words make up the words out of 5 USC 3331. But they split it, right? They put this A, oath of office. So from here down is the oath of office. According to A, the part with I, whatever, doesn't have a damn thing to do with it. It's outside of it's not under the heading. And this is the form that all civil officers are supposed to fill out and have as part of their official record. Okay. Now, I think I actually have Rosita got this. Where is that thing? So let's take a look at one that somebody did. Here's one. Look at, they took it out of hers, right? Rosita asked for a copy of this appointment affidavit, which is hole punched like it's in an official record someplace. This is a FOIA, right? And I take that back. Carol V. May, that's what it was. They used her with her middle initial. Do solemnly swear, affirm that, and then da-da-da-da-da. But there's no seal, there's no commission. This form isn't done properly. Now compare that to the form that a military officer takes. That'd be your DA-71 form. It looks like this. It says this form will be executed upon acceptance of appointment as an officer in the Army of the United States, blah, blah, blah. And this says first name, middle name, last name. Not first name, middle initial, last name. Right? They want what? Your full legal name. Then again, even though they've taken this oath, and even this isn't worded exactly as the oath in 5 USC 3331, because they added this thing about appointed an officer of the United States Army. Right? They threw that line in there, so they're not taking the wording that's mandated by the law. They're making up their own. And unless you can show me a record that says you can do that, well, you can't. But at least they're using their whole name, Robert Allen Ritluski. They wouldn't be doing it with a middle initial. Like the supposed Assistant Attorney General on 6/2/2013, Washington, D.C., I, Carol V. Mason. Yep. Okay, Carol, what about your oath that satisfies the 6th article of the Constitution? Now show me that one. See, we're just auditing their paperwork. This isn't that difficult. You don't need to do anything. They need to produce the paper. All right, hang on. All right, and here's why I remain helpful. That doing all this to the military, it is going to make a difference. And I know this, if you put that law into your court case, it's going to make a difference. If you send it to the chief judge, it's going to make a difference, right? Get that law, 1 Stat 23, and submit it as part of your court case and demand relief, saying your civil liberties are being violated because this law hasn't been followed by the tribunal that's making a determination about your life, liberty, and happiness. All right, there you go. There's a sentence. This is why, forgetting that for a minute, why I believe it's going to make a difference, because what the Bible says. Because there's one group of people in the Bible that come through pretty much unscathed. In fact, they're of anybody, they're the victors in the Bible, and it's the centurions. All you need to do is search on the word centurion. And when Jesus had entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion, beseeching him. And so we know in that story, hey, I got a servant at home that's ill, but I'm not worthy of you to come in my house. You say the word, I know he'll be healed. Centurion goes on his way, and Jesus says to his followers, in all of Israel, I have not seen such faith. Well, who had the faith? The centurion had the faith. But it goes on. And now when the centurion and they were with him watching Jesus saw the earthquake and those signs that were done, they feared greatly, saying, Thus this was the Son of God. The first ones to testify at the foot of the cross that they had just killed the Son of God was the centurions. They knew exactly what had happened. And when a centurion, which stood over against him, saw that he had cried out and gave up the ghost, he said, Truly, this man was the Son of God. And Pilate marveled if he were already dead, and calling unto him the centurion, he asked him whether he had been any while dead. I have to go read that part again. I forgot about that part. That centurion in there. The big thing was, Cornelius, right? The centurion, the first non-Jew to receive the Holy Ghost was a centurion of the Roman legion. Amen. It's a military man. God's just waiting on you. Please, go forward. Right? Go do the right thing. Let your conscience be your guide, and this could all be done. Just go do what needs to be done, because they didn't follow the law. In the first sentence of the first section of the first statute of the first Congress. Signing a law, June 1st, 1789. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. We'll see ya.